What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. TMZ is reporting that Jenelle is going to be fighting for full custody of her and David Eason's daughter, Ensley Jolie Eason. If you recall, it's being alleged that Jenelle filed for separation from David, moved to Tennessee with the children, filed a temporary order of protection against David that she was granted, meaning that David is not allowed to speak with her or her children, and he's not allowed to post about her on social media as well. And so now, according to TMZ, she is kicking things up a notch by gunning for full custody of their daughter. Jenelle evidently believes that she is the more fit parent of the two, but is that really saying much of anything? Because neither of these two people had any business breeding in the first place. They should have been fixed a long time ago, but I digress. So anyway, she is banking on the dog killing incident being something that really helps her out in her quest to have full custody of their daughter. And although she is going for full custody of Ensley, that allegedly doesn't mean that she wants to keep David away from her like indefinitely. According to TMZ, Jenelle does acknowledge that David loves Ensley and is a good father to her. She just feels that full custody is what is in the best interest of her. And of course, in between moving states, filing for a restraining order, allegedly filing for full custody of her child, Jenelle is still pitching MTV to have all of this be documented on Teen Mom 2, and I'm slowly starting to suspect that they already agreed to do something with her, whether it's her coming back on the show full time or it's a special, a catch up, something. I don't know, but I do believe that they've agreed to do something with Jenelle. I just have that suspicious gut feeling about it. So guys, how do cases like this work out where both parents are POSs who had no business having a child in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, sure, David has lost custody of, at least one child. He's got an extensive criminal history, a violent history as well. But so has Jenelle. She doesn't have custody of Jace. She also has an extensive criminal history. She also has a history of violence as well. Like, what does it really come down to? I really do feel so sorry for judges who preside over these cases, because regardless of who Ensley ends up with, she's screwed. And on top of that, I should mention, Jenelle was under CPS investigation when Ensley was born, because Ensley was born with THC in her system because Jenelle had been smoking the weed while she was pregnant. So like that might factor in as well. I feel like David's attorneys, when they're fighting against this, will bring that up. Like, remember, this woman was under investigation, for this child being born with drugs in her system. And she also has an extensive criminal history. And she's also lost custody of a child. And also, while this investigation that was happening after the dog gate, where David was being investigated by CPS on whether or not he could be around the children, Jenelle had very clearly chosen David over her children. And so like, I think that will come into play. Like, a judge might be like, wait a second, you had the opportunity to keep normalcy in your children's lives by having David leave the home and you staying with them, or you leaving the home and finding another one with the children, but you chose your husband over your children. So are you really the better parent here? I don't know. But of course, Jenelle's lawyers can go ahead and claim that Stockholm syndrome or domestic violence caused her to do that, like fear for her life, fear for whatever caused her to do that. So it's going to be really wild to see how this plays out, because it is just messy on both sides. This is not like a clean-cut case, where it's like one normal functioning person just so happened to end up with like a horrible person, and it's so obvious that this is the way that this is going to go down. The child is going to be with them. Like, this seems quite messy, and it's just full of degenerates on both sides. So I'm quite curious to see what is ultimately going to be going down. Meanwhile, David has been posting on social media about, at least, these guys are here to keep me company. I love my herd. He's showing off his animals in the farm. He also showed himself taking off his wedding ring. He is like a 12-year-old girl with a Tumblr account or something like that. Like, he is really just going all the way in on having an open diary over Instagram, and it is quite cringeworthy to see. It's also being reported that he called 911 to report that one of his animals, his dog, I believe, had been kidnapped or something like that. And I feel like that is a dog whistle threat to Jenelle, that the animals would start disappearing for as long as she stayed away from the home. You know what I mean? It's one of those like things where, like, if you know someone intimately, you kind of can read between the lines on what they're trying to say in the information that they allow to be put out there. And so to me, I feel like David calling 911 to report his dogs going missing after we already know he kills animals, right? Is a threat to Jenelle that the animals would start disappearing. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see how all of this plays out. I wonder, like, if Jenelle is going to ultimately try and do something for these animals and say, listen, he already killed one of my dogs. He's claiming one went missing, and we don't even know if that's true or if she did something to that dog as well. I want, like, to be able to return to my home and for him to have to live somewhere else because I don't trust him with these animals. But I also feel like the joke is on David because Jenelle never really cared about these animals in the first place. So I don't think she's going to be doing anything about this whatsoever. I think she is perfectly fine staying put over there in Tennessee and waiting this whole entire situation out. But guys, that's enough about my opinions. I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything, so please do make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.